So the Christmas update added 4 new guns, one of which is called the K7 PDW. It is a very high fire rate gun and was considered somewhat similar to the Vector, but which of these guns are better? This is completely an unbiased perspective. I must get this out of the way. If you like either of these guns more, just because your gun lost doesn't mean it's bad. Both of these guns are very good, but there is probably one that is better, okay? This is a completely unbiased perspective, just looking at the stats, and you can use either gun. I'm not saying that the loser is a terrible gun. You know, they're both very good guns, but there is one that is better. So let's get into the stats. First off, what do these guns have in common? Both have fire rates of over 1,000. The K7 has an 1,100 fire rate and the Vector has a 1,200 fire rate. Very, very high RPM, some of the highest RPM guns in the game. Secondly, they both have about 30 bullets, depending for the Vector, 25 or 33, and the K7 has 30. They both have surprisingly low recoil and are very accurate, but they usually have a 4 or a 3 shot kill in CQC and a 6 shot kill in LRC. So these are both guns that are basically only CQC guns. They both have decent reload times and they both have very, very decent handling. Both of them have very good walk speed, reload times, ADS times, everything like that. Something that you would expect from a PDW. Now let's get into the actual detailed stats on each of the guns, starting with the K7. The K7 has a fire rate of 1,100 RPM. It's very, very high fire rate, as I've said, higher than the Colt SMG, the PPSH 41, and a lot of other guns. Basically, most of the guns in the game. One of the main drawbacks of the K7 is that it only does 30 damage in CQC, which is a 4-shot kill, which the par for PDW is generally a 3-shot kill, but 1,100 RPM does make up for it. It's integrally suppressed and does 30 damage to 60 studs, at which point it drops off, and its minimum damage range is about 18 damage, which is a 6-shot kill. A 4-shot to a 6-shot kill is not amazing, but the RPM, like I said, does make up for it. It has an average magazine capacity of 30 and an average reserve of 120 bullets. This is decent, but it does run through its reserves very quickly because of the RPM and the reload times, and you can find bullets pretty easily though, because any 9mm gun and any PDW you will pick up bullets from. The main drawbacks for this gun are its low minimum damage and low maximum damage. Both of the damage ranges are not that good. 30 in CQC is a little bit below par for PDWs, but it's not terrible. It can still kill people very, very quickly. Now let's get on to the Vector, because the Vector does have a little bit of different stats, but let me tell you, some of them are a lot better. First off, the Vector has a blazing fast 1,200 RPM. Yes, this is only 100 more than the K7, but you're actually going to notice a very, very large difference. Think about the G36 and the M16A3. One of them has 750 RPM and the other one has 800. It's only a 50 difference, but you can tell. You can really tell the difference. This is double that change. You can really tell, okay? So like, well, it's just magazine dumps quicker. You know, that's actually kind of true, but at the same time, you have a little bit of different options for the Vector. First off, we'll start with 45 ACP since it's the default ammo type. The 45 ACP ammo type can 3-shot 230 studs. That's right, you can kill with 3 bullets at higher RPM. Yes, you have a 5 smaller magazine capacity than the K7. It's 25 versus 30. It's not really that big of a difference, okay? You're gonna be mag dumping pretty easily, but it's not gonna be too bad since you only have to hit 3 shots instead of 4. And even if you don't like the 45 ACP ammo type, there's the 9mm ammo type, which gives you 33 bullets, more than the K7, better recoil control, and basically makes it a laser. It just becomes a laser. There's no recoil. It's just where to go. I don't know. The recoil is just gone. Yes, the K7 can have low recoil, but the Vector has lower recoil at higher RPM. And the 9mm ammo type basically makes them the same gun, but the Vector slightly better. It has better magazine capacity. It does 30 damage in CQC, but then again, so does the K7. The K7 does have better damage ranges, but it's a 4-shot CQC, 6-shot in LRC, basically for both of them. And if you really want like a crazy good gun, just use the Vector. It has more RPM and less recoil, and better magazine capacity and better reserves. Yes, it's not integrally suppressed, but honestly, who cares? I mean, it sounds pretty good. I did really, really like it when I was using it, but if you want a better gun, you got to use the Vector. That isn't to say that the K7 isn't a good gun. I really like the K7. I just use the Vector over it because the Vector is just statistically better. So let's just round this off with some attachment loadouts for both of these guns. Like I said, the Vector is better, the K7 is still a good gun. For the K7, I recommend you use Reflex or Delta, followed by Compensator and Folding Grip, and Blue Laser or Green Laser, and either none or hollow points. The reason I recommend hollow points is because it'll make this gun actually a 3-shot, which does make it pretty good in CQC, just not quite as good in LRC. So you can use that, or you can use the Vector with this loadout. I like Coyote Sight in the Vector, but honestly the irons are really good too. DDHB Reflex, Delta, Reflex, all those are really good. You could use the Compensator and Folding Grip, or you can use the muzzle brake and stubby grip. I recommend Compensator Folding Grip if you want to actually get some people in long range, because it just makes your gun basically horizontally a laser. But if you want better vertical recoil, use the muzzle brake and stubby grip, followed by any laser. And if you want a 3-shot in CQC, use the 45 ACP, which is none. Or if you want better magazine capacity and better reserves, and honestly not make this gun quite so mag dumpy, you can use the 9mm conversion. Basically makes it the same as the K7 but slightly better. Like I said, that gives it 33 and like 164 in reserve or something crazy. And yeah, basically doesn't make it as good in CQC, but overall I think it's probably worth. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, leave a like. I'm sorry, this is, well, it's not really necessarily in my opinion, come on. It's just statistically the Vector is better. That isn't to say that the K7 is a bad gun, okay? I know people are gonna be like, K7 hater, you hate the K7. Actually, it's probably my favorite gun from the update. It sounds amazing, it runs really hard. It's just, people keep being like, well, it's gonna like the Vector, so I have to compare it to the Vector. I think Godsetus had said the Vector is better, but hasn't really gone into stats or anything. This is why the Vector is better. Vector's a really good gun. I don't know why people think that it's so overrated. It's not amazing, but it's a pretty fun gun. So anyways, that's going to be it for the video. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't hate. Subscribe. Yeah. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.